podcasting from the sunny state of California where Hollywood and superstars shine. Hey, and welcome to Perfectly Normal, where I talk about all life's up and down and what appears to be weird and wacky can actually turn out to be quite normal. And I'm your host, Michelle. I'm a life coach, author, artist, and pharmacist, the founder of Elevate Life Coaching. It's a seminar and coaching company. Let's get right to the show. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So every Monday, I have this coffee talk show that I host live on Facebook. And I would invite speakers to join me because I'm more interested in learning their story, what inspired them to be who they are. And I think it's really beautiful that every one of us have a story. No matter how big or small, how insignificant, how significant it is, we all have a story. And I oftentimes describe it as, we're all unwritten books. And it's just a matter of time before we start putting it together, we start writing our book. And one of the questions that I love to ask my guests when they come to join my show is that, what is it that at a certain point in your life that you discover that you need to change? And perhaps is in that moment where you suddenly wake up and you realize that something has to be different. And you may not be sure, what needs to be different, what needs to be done, but there's that point in life where you wake up in the morning and you suddenly feel that you need to change. And what is it about that moment and what made it so special and actually that you took action into changing your life? And so that's my biggest question that I tend to ask, especially when guests are talking about how they had a new transformation or what transformation had brought them to here today. And it always amazes me, because you see how their energy, how their facial expression, how their body language change when they talk about that moment in their life that actually made a difference. And for me, that moment in my life was, it was actually much later in my life. So by now, hopefully, some of you may have already read my books, Perfectly Normal. And in the book, it's really a memoir. And in the first couple of chapters, I really spoke about my childhood, but, that transformation didn't come until much later, after the car accident. So it was almost when I was in my 40s, when I start having that breakthrough moment where I woke up one day and I realized that I needed to change. And that initial change was very subtle. It was almost like, it felt like something needs to happen, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was. So I remember I woke up one morning, I felt like, I was tired of my body. I was tired of how I felt. And I was gaining, I actually put on 10 pounds, after I started working at my hospital position. And so I knew that I wanted to do something, but I wasn't sure how to do it. And I wasn't sure what I can do to make that change. So I remember going on Amazon and I ordered one of those balancing ball, like these exercising ball. So I bought one and it came. So I started using it. I was just using it at home and it was just not moving. My weight was not moving any further. It was not dropping. And I remember I was really strategically calculating how much I can eat on a daily basis. And many of you know that I am a pharmacist, so I'm really capable of calculating out what my caloric intake is. I actually sat down, figured it out, and I was so strict. I had a strict diet. And I remember my friends asking me, "Well, are you gonna eat this? Are you gonna eat that?" I'm like, I can, because I can only consume less than 1,000 calories based on my height. And that was just really, really dramatic and really, really big step in terms of moving that towards that change. But I remember I was really strategic about what I eat and what kind of food I should eat. And I record down every single thing that I was eating during that period of time. And that was the change that came after that. I realized I need to do something. And that initial buying the balancing ball and putting myself onto a strict diet, that initial action actually led to more action. So I end up thinking about, well, all my friends whom I work with, they all went to Peru. They all hiked up to Machu Picchu via the Inca Trail. Well, I'm disabled. I walk with crutches. What can I do to compete with that? And in that moment, I was really thinking about competition. I want to prove to myself that I'm capable of doing something that other people can do it. So it was more about competition. It was more about proving that I can do it for myself. And it was all about like that level 2 energy that I spoke about, a couple of weeks ago, that wanted to fighting mode. And sometimes that fighting mode is actually what makes us move forward. It's the action that we start taking. You get angry, and because that you're angry, you get a little boost of that energy, and that surge will actually bring you start taking action. So I was totally in that level 2 energy. I got angry about myself and about how I work, how I walk, my physical appearance and all of that. It's all anger. So I got angry, and because of my anger, I put it into action. And so I said to myself, you know what? I am going to sign up, and I'm going to make it a goal to hike Machu Picchu. So once I have that goal, I need to take it further, right? So you can't just have a goal and just let the goal sit there and not do anything about it, because then that's not a goal, that's just a dream. And so I decided that, with that goal, I'm going to join a gym. So I looked around, I shopped around, I spoke to many people, and initially I went to LA Fitness, and after LA Fitness, I went and actually found myself a trainer. So I signed up with a trainer, and I told him on the very first day, I said, you know what? The whole reason I'm hiring you is because I want to climb Machu Picchu. So you are going to help me exactly doing just that. And so we start training, and he's been amazing. He's a great trainer. And it's a great facility. I loved it. And I went on to Machu Picchu. I climbed up to Inca Trail. And it's all because of that initial moment of change where I sat down and I realized life has so much to offer. And in order to experience life to its fullest, I needed to let go of something. And I wasn't sure what I needed to let go. But in that moment of time where I was just really tired of being the old same me over and over. I mean, I had a great job. I have a highest degree anyone can possibly think of. I went to school, I did well in school, and I have great family, my loving and caring. I had everything. I had income, I had good income, I have stability in my life. But there was something missing, something that made me feel I was not complete. I was broken in some way. And that feeling of broken and not complete made me wanted to search for some more. And unfortunately, some of us, because we feel that something is missing, we begin to search from the outside. So a lot of time we go to materials, we go to monetary stuff, that hoping that it would fill our hole that's inside. So what made the difference for me was that instead of looking from the outside, which I don't have much to look from the outside, I don't look exactly normal. That's the word that I've been using. So what else can I do but going inside and searching that missing piece from the inward? And I'm really glad, and I think it's almost in a way that it's very gifted. It was meant to be for me to go all the way around and then come back to the center of who I am and discovering who I am. And it was that moment of time where something just clicked and something just makes sense. And therefore, I started to take action because I no longer wanted to live the same old me. I wanted something different. And that something different brought me here. So that's the main reason why I really love to ask that question to my guests, especially when they're talking about, their own transformation story and what brought them here. I really feel that every one of us have that point of life where we know there's something more than just going to work every morning, just having a job, and just following everyday mundane routine. There's something more to life than we think there is. And what you can find is not on the outside, but rather you can find it only on the inside. And because we speak so much self-talk all the time, so it's really important to say and ask ourselves some really empowering questions. So the question that you ask yourself matters and determines whether or not you're actually moving or you're staying stuck in a position. So what question do you need to ask yourself in order to help yourself moving forward? What is it that you're looking for? What is it that you want in your life? And if you're not getting the right answers within your life, then perhaps you need to ask yourself better questions. And since we talk to ourselves all the time, then ask the right question. And she wasn't asking the right questions, so which led me to wanted to clarify more in terms of what she was looking for. And so that applies to our lives sometimes. If you're not finding the answer to certain things in your life, or you're not getting the result that you want, then perhaps it's time to stop and really look at, what's going on here, and just be curious and be aware of what are you doing that keeps stopping you and that keeps making you feel stuck. So start asking yourself better questions, and you too wanted to create a change, and you know exactly where to go and where and how to move forward. Hopefully you had enjoyed my show today, and let's keep the conversation going. And this is really the whole idea behind this podcast. It's about spreading the idea and spreading the story, and each one of us have so much to offer in our lives and to others. And so that's not stop here. Let's keep the story going, keep the conversation going. And perhaps you realize something that in the spur moment while listening to this podcast that you would like to share with me. Go ahead and visit me on my website at elevatelifecoaching.org and leave me a comment. What is it that you learned from this episode, and how is it impacting your life? Or what have you experienced so far in your life? I love to hear them. And if you like, you can also email me at michelle.kui@gmail.com. That's michelle.kui@gmail.com. And I love to hear from you and what you are going through and what you are experiencing. And perhaps, we can even start a conversation there. Until next time, have a great, wonderful week. Hey, thanks for listening to Perfectly Normal. If you like my show and want to know more, please check out my website at elevatelifecoaching.org and leave me a comment. Join me next week as we talk about another real life struggle and how we can overcome it. So until then, have a great day.